Welcome to another episode of Fork It. I am Justin Garrison, and we're gonna do some open source today. This live stream / podcast I'm trying to do it weekly. So far, I got 3 weeks in a row, so we're in a good spot for it. And today, we're going to be looking at an open source project of mine. And it's an old project from a couple years ago. I started it, and there's been a bug that I never fixed, and it stopped me from using it. And I want to solve that problem. And so today, we're going to try to solve that problem. So today's project is a project I call K, and it's based on Kubernetes. Everyone aliases kube control to K, and I was like, well, what if we had a better K? What if there was another way to use that command? And I kept having a problem of I wanted to run commands across multiple clusters. I wanted to see the difference between pods and different clusters, either different regions or context or even different namespaces. Like, hey, I tested something in this namespace, it's not working in this other one. How would that work? And so I came up with this K wrapper that wraps around kube control, and it adds a couple symbols to the command line prompt to give you dynamic context namespace switching, and also allows you to combine some of those things. So the symbols I came up with were I have to remember some of this too, because this was last updated 3 years ago. I had a 2-year update for Gitpod development, but I haven't touched it really for 3 years. So plus is context. So if I want to switch my context on the fly without actually changing the config file, I could do that. If I want to change the cluster, I could do an @ symbol. And if I want to change the namespace, I could do a colon. And you normally can do namespace, that's not a problem. But with this syntax, I can add multiple. So I could do colon, namespace, colon, namespace, and I could run it in parallel across 2 namespaces. That was the idea. I also get some environment variables here that I frequently wanted to change per shell, because I keep all of my kube configs in different files. I don't like one context that is globally shared. So my .cube/config file is usually symlinked to devnull. I don't want things writing there. I don't want to use that by default. I don't want any assumptions about what context I have there. All of my other kubeconfig files are stored as separate files under my .cube folder. And that's just how I've always done it. And that allows me to export kubeconfigs per terminal. So I could have one terminal in one cluster, the other terminal in a different cluster. But I still couldn't have things like one cluster always under a certain namespace and the other one under a different namespace. And so that's why I added these environment variables that are red that I can quickly add. And all it's doing is literally just adding it to the actual command line. Before it runs, it wraps kubeconfig and it sends another namespace. And my kubeconfig variable, one of the things that I really liked that most people don't know about is kubeconfig can actually be multiple files, and it concatenates all of them, and it finds when I do something like an @prod in this example, it will concatenate all the files together, and the first cluster it finds that says prod, that's the one it uses. So you can't have multiple overlapping names, but it has been working. It was working for me great. And so I even say, like, you should alias, usually people alias kube control to K, and I thought I had it in here that you should alias K to kube control. And so here's, you can see, I export kube namespace and K get pods. It'll actually add the namespace kube system. I can do prod, and it does a context prod. So all it's doing is using the same variables that are there. I'm gonna turn down this music a little bit. I did decide to use music this time, just as some background. For anyone that is curious, I use Pretzel Rocks, which is a music for streaming. I paid for it for a while. I haven't paid for it this year, mainly because I wasn't doing live streams. So if you like live stream music, that's one I've been using. Please leave me a comment if you have another suggestion. I would love to find other options too. So here's another test. Actually, that would be wrong. @ is cluster. So I think that'd be wrong. But here you can combine them. A plus US East 1 : Nginx. That'll put me in the context of my US East 1 cluster with a namespace Nginx. And I liked having them combined. That was causing a lot of problems for tab completion. But these symbols that I picked, the plus, the colon, and the @ are not allowed in the kube control naming for things. So it made it really easy to like not have to override them. Here's what I was doing for tab completion. I was sourcing the initial tab completion from whatever kube control command you had. And then I was replacing it to BK. So that's just like the whole thing, export it out, replace all the kube control stuff with K. People often do that when they have the alias anyway. Like this is a normal thing that people are doing so that they get K tab completion for all their stuff. Then I was adding these special, I call them K-space parameters that allowed you to tab complete on these other things. So I could do the @ and the plus, and this was context and clusters. And I would tab complete those. I have to remember how I did a lot of this stuff. Parse get template. This was some of the more complex bash that I've written, because you start getting into these weeds of like where these variables come from, all this parameter expansion. I was getting templates. And then I had config. I was modeling a lot of this off of what existed in kube control. Handle the K-space. Set some local variables. Okay, and here's my sort of stuff. So this wasn't maintainable. I knew that going into it, but I was hoping to do this part dynamically based on which version of kube control you had. A lot of the kube control uses Cobra, which is a command line utility that generates a lot of the stuff for you. I believe a lot of the completion commands don't use Cobra generation anymore. I think a lot of it uses internal native kube control commands now. And this is also the first day I'm going to try using some ChatGPT. I just upped to ChatGPT 4. I haven't used ChatGPT for development. I used Copilot for a little while. We'll see if it helps. I've never used ChatGPT 4 for development. So I have a usage function. If you don't send any arguments, you get my K outputs, which shows those examples that I had, like some of these examples, as well as normal like output. If I do anything else, I'm supposed to get output. What? Oh my gosh, already? This is gonna be fun. This is gonna be a lot of fun. Using kube config, so we can see here it's generating my entire kube config. Running kube control version. Why do I get no output? Is my standard out not passing? Running, here we go. Run kube control. Oh, I know what I did. I had an old commit here that I think was broken. I also use kube color. Okay, so now it's installed. There we go. Nope. K version. There. Error loading config kubectx. Okay, so I do need to ignore that because someone gave me that bug already. So we're building our kube config. Config string. Oh, if I already have a kube config set, like I don't do this entire walk. This is just like, hey, if you don't tell me what you want, we're gonna go ahead and walk the whole path. If it's a directory, skip it. If it's, oh, here we go. So I have this ignore list already. Info.name equals kubectx. Kubectx.
Many unbearable hours later.
Let's start with ChatGPT. In Go programming. Okay, should probably blow it up a little more. In Go programming language, how do I walk a tree and loop over every file? Let's see. Let's see what we get. I had 2 people this week tell me they use GPT-4 a lot for developments. So, yep, error file path walk. Path. String. That's what we're getting here. Info, file, info, error, error. Check if it's a file and is not a directory. Tree and skip files with the name foo. How do they say? I'm curious now. It's like a, so there you go. Return nil. Skip directories. If it's a directory and the name, yeah. So that's what I was doing. I had to return skip the directory. Oh, so see, that's what I'm doing wrong. I'm doing a skip dir on everything. I need to change that for skipping files. Okay, let's try that. That looks better. No such host. Cool. So I got AI config. There's the other one. I got my demo, carpenter demo, carpenter test, Talos, Ubuntu. Is that everything in there? Probably not. Okay, so I think we're good. Hey, that's a good start. I mean, it's like an hour now and I didn't get to what I wanted to, but we fixed another bug. Hey, thanks for joining the live stream. We're trying to fix a bug, some bugs. And I had to reverse my logic here. So we're good on that one. Let's contribute this one. Fix path walking to more files. This is my repos, so you know we can pull these in. CTX and other stuff. Fixes. I have a CTX. There we go. Did I not? Oh, you know what? I set a lock on the on that to. I need to fix cube color too. Dang it. So many bugs when you write your own software. I set a lock on it that it needs a review. But I don't have anyone to review with me because this is just my project. So I got to change that setting later. Okay, so. Okay, there we go. One thing down. We kind of fixed it. We found another to do. Yeah. Function init exact like a path cube Oh, I don't set it anywhere. That's why. Keep control binary. I can fix this real quick. Forget it. I'm not troubleshooting this right now. I forgot I did this. I'm sorry, Richard. Easy way to parse a string. Yeah. Okay, so we made it here. We get this debug. We got clusters. So maybe cluster. Else maybe context. Maybe namespace. This is where I really need to spend the time to learn debugging better. Let's try it. So I think we get here. How to... I'm not doing that right now. I'm not breaking other things to make you feel good. Maybe cluster 0 is not 1. Yep, maybe cluster range. We did that. And pass the arguments. Come on. Oh, I need break. Should have thought of that. Now, do you work? Does not contain package. No, you're not. Of course you're not. I'm in the right spot. Oh, but I'm not in the stupid go route. There we go. What'd you do? Running. Hey, now you work? Now you have a command? What? Because I debugged it? Oh, you're the worst. Print those variables. Call. Continue next. Rebuild, restart, step out, break. Toggle trace, watch, args. I get no. Okay. That timed out. Arguments pass. Okay, so it's when I added that argument. Config, what do I got? Get clusters. Oh, do I need the full name? Oh, that's... Oh, see, colons. Those are accepted. No. EK Talos. So now I have a... Oops. That works. Okay. Setting it works. But... my cluster name, that works. I'm not getting colored output. Gotta figure that one out too. But my config only shows that as my cluster name. So that's gonna be a problem because I use colons. I need a character that's not usable as a cluster. So if I do okay at that whole thing, nope. See, because it splits it. It splits it on the colon. Oh, so I have to redo. I have to figure out what. This is gonna take a little while. I just got to figure out. So let's see if you know. What are alpha hyphen underscore periods? See, but you have a lot more than that. That works. My context is a shortened name. And then it sends it properly here with the right thing. Oh, no command. Ha, I know why. I know why, because I don't actually have a cluster name of that. I have a context name that. Because if I do get pods, does this actually work? No resources found, right? I don't think I have anything running. But namespace colon cube system, that passed the right thing. I made a new character for namespace. That sucks. But at least I know it does work. My problem was me, obviously. All right, well, we sent one PR and we fixed one bug. I'm gonna have to rework a ton of this stuff to replace outs, colons as a special character for namespace. Okay, well, I'm going to call this stream done, and realizing that I'm gonna have to, if I want to use this with context, I'm gonna have to change out my colons or do some sort of like string matching for the end of the string, right? Because if I look at this, like anything after that / is the cluster name that I actually want. Get context. So the cluster names are pretty much useless as is because of this garbage. But if I split it on a / like I don't know how GCP does it. I don't know how Azure does it, but that would be useful for me to go through and split. So maybe I'll do that. It's easier for me to remember cluster names than context names, but we'll see. So thanks everyone for watching. Thanks for coming. And yeah, we'll keep working on this one. I'll probably work on it next week a little bit. And if I get any more pull requests done, I will let you know next week. So thank you.